Let's talk about your sermons on your website. All right, welcome back everybody to the channel. If you have not yet liked this video, make sure to do that now. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe and also hit that little bell notification so you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. We post new videos every single week with fresh new content you don't want to miss out on. So today, we're talking about the sermons on your website. Now, this is a loaded topic because there's lots of different opinions and ways to think about the sermons on your website. But here at Ministry Designs, we think we've come up with a pretty efficient system that would fit with any church with some good guidelines and good rules to follow. So, first of all, the question is, should I be posting my sermons on my website, or should I just use like a YouTube channel or a Vimeo channel, or just have Facebook Live and keep it on my Facebook page? The answer to that question is yes, you should be posting videos of your sermons on your website. If you're not, figure out a way to do that soon. YouTube is free. It's very easy to use. You can literally just go to YouTube, log into your account, hit create, upload video, and upload your video right to your YouTube channel. And then you can put it right on your website pretty easily. YouTube is easy to use. There are tools like Vimeo. Vimeo is a paid feature, but it has some additional bells and whistles that YouTube doesn't have. But whatever works for you and your church, start recording your messages and start posting them online. You can use a phone. You don't even need an expensive video camera anymore. If you have a phone with big enough memory to be able to record a 30 to 45 minute, maybe an hour message, then record it and then upload that thing to YouTube directly afterwards so that it can go onto your church's website. You want a place where people can view what is going on. You want them to be able to come and learn about you. Because remember, your website is your hub. If YouTube is your hub, then people are going to go to YouTube to watch all your content. If Facebook is your hub, then they're going to go to Facebook to watch all your content. And your website will sit dormant and be dead. And what that leads to is an ineffective system for your new visitors to arrive and see a lively, action, effective culture showing and displaying website. And that's what you want people to run into. So for the sole purpose of simply showcasing sermons on your website that are for new visitors, this is very important. A new visitor may want to go and see, okay, what's the message like? What's the sermon like? I want to check those out. That's why we always recommend putting like a sermon snapshot or test driving a sermon on your new here page to give people the opportunity to see what a message is actually like. Now, while sermons, though, are important, this brings me to point number 2 of how many sermons should I have on my website. I've seen in my 7 years working here at Ministry Designs, now I'm going into my 8th, we have seen people who have 0 sermons on their website to people who have 12, 15 years of sermons on their website. Now, what we need to understand is we have to have a happy medium, right? Unless you are somebody like a traveling minister who's very well known or someone that has, a very big, consistent audience, odds are you're not going to need 12 years of sermons on your website. What we would say is, look at the data for you and your church. If you're able to see, okay, how many views are these videos getting? How often are they being watched? Analyze it, figure out what works for you. But for us here at Ministry Design, through our analysis and what we have found working with thousands of churches over, a 13, 14-year period now at this point, is that 1 year to 1.5 years is a good amount. I've seen people even go 6 months to 18 months. So that 6 months to a 1.5 year period where you have sermon archives. And then if you're using YouTube, you can always send people there if they need something specific past that point, right? Because the odds is that people are not going to be scrolling through and trying to find a sermon from a 1.5 years ago. It's probably, they won't even remember it, right? But the purpose is to have a large enough library where people can get enough content that is good for them, that they're looking for. Maybe they're struggling in a certain area. And a 1.5 years should give you enough to be able to showcase a solid amount of content on your website. Maybe 2 years if you have a really large library and you want a diverse selection of things. But updating it every week as you go, maybe every month, you just take the furthest away month off, right? So if you're updating for March, then March of a year ago, you would take off the website, right? Just to keep a cycle of fresh new content. That is what we recommend. You don't want to overload it with stuff because people are going to be overwhelmed by it, as well as it's going to affect your website's load speeds. The fact is that the more pages you have, the more content you have on your website, it will eventually, when you get to that point of like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, that's going to negatively impact your server speeds because of how big and heavy your website is with that content. So you want to make sure that you're keeping it short and sweet, have enough to display, but don't overdo it. You don't need that much. And if someone is ever looking for something specific and they contact your office like, hey, I really need something for this topic, you have an archive on YouTube or Vimeo. Find it there, send it to them there, and they can still get the help that they're looking for. The third thing that I want to say is try to find a system that can give you the option to search and filter through topics. If you have a website that simply just lists, especially if you're going like a year or 2 years, just hundreds of sermons and just video after video after video, that's not an effective system. What's going to happen is people are going to go to the top one. If they miss service, they're going to watch that, and the rest of them are just going to be gone. You know, you might as well not even have them on there because that's such a lot to scroll through and find. What I would recommend is I would find a website builder system that has the ability to search for a sermon based on series, based on topic, based on speaker, based on any other search filters to allow them to be able to find exactly what they are looking for in that moment. You want to be able to provide a user-friendly experience. So for instance, like with Ministry Designs and our website system, our tools have the ability to search by sermon series, by category, by scripture reference, by title, by pastor, or speaker, and you can also customize all of your own filters in there as well. The benefits of this is that people can go on, they can find the most recent thing they're looking for, but also say it's just a moment of, you know, man, I'm just really struggling with depression. So let me just go to topics and find any sermon that has to do with depression and anxiety, and then it'll pull up from my library any of those messages that I have, and I can watch that message right on my website in the same place where I can contact you, where I can chat you if you have a live chat feature. Your website is the hub. That is the goal that we're trying to do here, right? So those are the tips for sermons. First of all, make sure you got them on your website, okay? Don't neglect your website by adding those sermons. Not adding sermons, make sure that they are on your site and updated every single week. Second thing, don't overdo it. You don't need 10 years. I would say 6 months to 18 months of content would be plenty. And the third thing, make sure you get a good website system that is going to allow you to search, to have a filtration system for people to easily find things what they're looking for based on their need, and that is going to be beneficial to you. So hopefully this is helpful for you. If you have any questions, reach out to us at ministrydesigns.com. Check us out. We'd be happy to have a conversation and show you some of our tools. But in the meantime, we will see you in the next video. Bye now.